Hi, everybody. My name is Mackenzie, and me and my husband, Zach, are in the process right now of improving our product to list it on the market. So we're super excited. We started this journey with Eileen and the team February. So it's been really great so far. It's been about a month and a half. It's been really good. We recently had our daughter Felicity, and she's a year old. Just turned a year recently. She's amazing. We love her so much, so much. She's made our lives so wonderful and fulfilled. So that's been a transition. Along with the blessing that she is, it's also been a lot of work. And I recently transitioned, obviously, from a 9-to-5 and earning an income at my 9-to-5, which I actually enjoyed somewhat. But moving from that to a stay-at-home mom position it's definitely an adjustment, and it was quite the adjustment financially. We went from having the two incomes to just one, and I realized I also enjoy being home, and I enjoy being able to work my own hours. And I don't mind putting in work, but being a mom, it's hard to put in work on a scheduled time, but rather waiting until she's put down for a nap, or when she's in a better mood, or after she's been fed. I'm sure all the mamas out there know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's been an adjustment, but it's been good. My husband and I, before we onboarded with Eileen and the team, we were really asking ourselves, how can we prepare for what we know we're going to need in the future? Our house is really small, and originally when we bought it, we didn't have a child. And so there were just a few things that we were looking at. It's like, okay, we're going to have increased expenses. And my puppy's actually suffering from Alzheimer's, and gradually more and more we see that it's becoming a struggle for where he's at, because he lives with my uncle, and there's just a few things that we see coming down the pike that we don't want to think about, but we know we have to. And financially, we were looking at it, and it wasn't anywhere near anything that we could afford. And so the money that we did have, we were thinking, well, what if we just held on to this? But it doesn't make any sense to be afraid and hold on to that, because even though it was a larger amount of money, it was like, well, if we don't do anything right now, eventually with inflation and personal emergencies and everything, it's going to be spent eventually, and it'll be all gone. But if we invest this now, if we put in work right now, we're going to invest it in our future selves, in our future family, and it's not just going to come back originally, like its original amount. It's going to come back increased, and it's going to be a good thing. So, having an extra revenue source that is unaffected by the economy. People are always going to need household items. People are always going to need, beauty products and different things like that. Just as a society, we have grown accustomed to having certain things in our home. So Eileen's system is brilliant, quite honestly. Besides the fact that she is just an absolute angel. I've known her for a few years, so I just don't know her from this program, but I've known her for years. She's just an angel. She loves people. She really does. But man, she is driven. She cares about people. But yeah, she pushes them to be their best, and that's what you need, So yeah, anyway, so besides the fact that Eileen is just amazing, her program is brilliant. Initially, even though I was quite on board with the idea, my husband was really hesitant because he's a very calculated person, which I'm so thankful for because it has saved us from doing really stupid things, you know. But initially, when I was telling him about the program, he was very skeptical, and he wanted his questions answered, and he wanted to be satisfied with the answers. And so he hopped on a phone call, and all of our questions were answered, and he was really, really impressed. And he described it using the word a very calculated risk. Because as an investor, you know that any investment is technically a risk. And so, there's always going to be, a very, very small chance that maybe it doesn't work out as best as you thought. However, how you get around that is you take the most calculated risk that you can, the most proven system, so it no longer becomes a risk. And that's what her system is. It's not just trying to find this product that maybe it'll succeed and maybe it'll drastically fail. That's not it at all. Her system includes just choosing products that there already is a demand for, there already is a market for, and step by step she breaks it down, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you need to look for, this is what you need to do. And it's so detailed, it's structured in a very good way. And she's very generous with any kind of deadlines. Any kind of deadline she's very patient with, which is something I sincerely appreciate. Of course, with my little one, that's super important. But then being very particular about the semantics and making sure that everything is in place so that there's no way you're not going to succeed. So anyways, it's super exciting. I will say, if you're having hesitations about it, ask yourself, okay, what is holding me back? What excuse am I making? Before we hopped on, I really made so many excuses for myself. I thought, I couldn't find the time, or I have different priorities now that I have a kid, or, we really can't financially do that right now. It's not been a cakewalk. This is something that, you do have to put in the work for, but it's a good thing, because like I mentioned before, you're doing it for your future self and your future family. And it's going to be rewarding. In the end, you're going to have a product that is yours, and you can either, continue with having it as a revenue source every month, which is absolutely incredible, or you can go on to sell your product at a really incredible price. So in the end, you are creating an asset, an income stream, and an asset, which is absolutely brilliant. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. What was the other thing that I wanted to mention? Yes. So initially too, I thought, oh, well, would I be able to get the same information elsewhere? Because I'm like that. Sometimes I like to kind of compare and evaluate, okay, what is the most logical avenue? And the fact of the matter is that people on YouTube might be able to show you how to make, a few hundred a month, maybe a few thousand a month. And while that's great for most people, Eileen has bigger goals, bigger dreams. And she has the ability, like, she's already done it. You guys have seen other testimonials, I'm sure. She has been able to help her mentees reach 20K a month. That is crazy. That is insane. And now they're working on other products and they're scaling. So much is possible. You just have to have the right strategies. It's strategy. That's what it is. And as a newbie, I wouldn't know how that worked. So she's experienced, she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's sharing it with everybody. She doesn't have to do this, and she's choosing to. So definitely, if you're on the fence about it, just know this program, not only is she amazing to work with, but she is here to make sure that you succeed. So yeah, don't be afraid. Take the jump. You will not regret it. Bye.